Today, it's simply Major League Baseball, mostly on the dogs. Real quickly, I'll get NHL out of the way. Here's what we're looking at. Good two-way action. Surprisingly, with it being 1-1, I thought it would be like 90% Florida. It's about 70% Florida, kind of what you expect with the team, splitting on the road, coming back home, close to a -140. So it's on pace for what you expect the books to have more risk towards Florida. But be cautious on this game 3. Historically, it's close to a coin flip. And more importantly, look at for the series. Real quickly, the adjusted series price right now has Panthers at -120. It shows you just how close this series is. And historically, the value is actually still on Edmonton, even though they got the split, just because they are the home team for the series.
Okay.
Florida would now have to at least get, sweep at home now to flip that, to now be the home team for the series. If they just split and it goes back to game 5, 2-2, that's why you'd have Edmonton still being the favorite, because they'd get game 5 at home, they'd get game 7 at home. And that's why it's still like a coin flip. But it seems like the narrative is all towards Florida. So you may want to look at possibly Edmonton tonight in game 3 as a little bit of value, Edmonton for the series. So even if they lose game 3, you're still alive with a ticket there if you disagree with the Florida money. And the sharp money is all on the same side. They're betting the under after the first 2 games flew overtime, a lot of goals. They're going under 6.5. Some of my sharpest outs are already at 6 with the under favored. But if you look at the square outs, they're all still at 6.5. So it tells you public's betting this series over, just like they saw in the first 2 games. Wise guys are going the other way after the first 2 games. And you kind of expect that from the betting syndicates, because whenever you get outliers like 9 goals scored when you're expecting 6, 6.5, they're usually expecting the regression towards the mean. So I think the under's a little bit of that, kind of taking advantage of that recency bias, because it wasn't a series that they were it's different. They were betting game 1 under, game 2 under, but that's not what happened. Instead, they're now getting involved in the total after seeing the first 2 games kind of being slight outliers for, Stanley Cup final. I'll shout out a couple MLB plays because they're all dogs except for St. Louis, which is at a pick 'em at -105. But 906 Milwaukee down to +140. The Cubs down to +125. Tampa all the way to even money. And Cincinnati at +140, down to +140. So a couple dogs for you: Cincinnati, Tampa, Cubs, Milwaukee, and St. Louis at a pick 'em.
But we'll take a look at the Blue Jays over 4.5 on the team total. Cardinals pitchers given up 13 runs in the last 15 and 2/3 inning. I like that the Jays went under their team total yesterday. Perfect time to come back for their over. They had gone over in 3 previous games, scoring 5, 6, and 9 runs. U.S. Open is this week. You want an underdog here? Take Rory McIlroy. Will miss the cut at +300. He's struggling with his driver. He's complaining about it. His driver got banned at the PGA Championship. He shot +9 and missed the cut at the Canadian Open. And this is Oakmont. This is a ridiculously hard course. He's even said, "I'm not that focused" after completing the career Grand Slam. Don't be surprised if Rory McIlroy misses the cut. And we're talking UFC. If you were looking for an underdog, you want to lock in, I like Miranda Maverick at +275 over Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas, her best days are behind her. She lost to Blanchfield last fight because she got taken down in a couple rounds, and that's what Miranda Maverick can do. It's a 3-round fight. Rose's striking is not what it used to be. If Miranda gets at least 1 takedown in the first round, she's going to win that round. Then she needs 1 other round to get that 1 takedown. I think +275 is way too good to pass up. So looking at Blue Jays over their team total, Rory McIlroy will miss the cut, and Miranda Maverick at +275.
Tampa Bay pitcher Shane Baz, over 16.5 outs recorded. He faces a Boston lineup that has to travel to Tampa after a late game in New York last night. And, the Rays bullpen needs some rest. They've been used a lot in the last 4 games, including an extra inning game. They'll push him to go as many innings as possible tonight against this tired Boston lineup. That's all it takes really is a lot of reading, a lot of research. And that's what I do on a lot of things. It's following beat reporters. It's let us do the work for you, me and my team. So like I said, against that Boston lineup. So I'm going with the total outs for Baz over 16.5. And I like to attack baseball certain ways. I don't really bet a lot of sides. I'm a total guy. I'm a first 5-inning guy, first 5 inning totals. Not too often I'll play sides in many sports at all. Last week I bet the Vikings to make the playoffs. That's considered a season win. That's still good right now. By the way, I like it at Pick'em. I took 120, or 115, 120 to make the playoffs. Also took the first week game too. I took the Vikings too. They're playing the Bears opening week. I like them in that game too, the Vikings. But as far as over/under season wins, I bet a couple that are still available. I'd rather give the stronger things out to you. I think the Vikings are going to be good this year, obviously, as you can see there. Let me see what I bet. Today, I'll tell you what I bet. Andy, I want to give anyone that's watching live, something they can do that I can't do. So you have the U.S. Open this week. This is called a peanut bet. If you guys are in places that have Fanatics, which of course threw me out, DraftKings, I'm allowed to bet DraftKings at the counter, not the app. They have Shane Lowry to win the U.S. Open at 45-1. It's just worth a little bet, $5-10, throw something on. It's just out here at Circuits, 27-1. William Hill's the biggest in town. They're 35-1. Of course, they threw me out. I'm not allowed to play at William Hill, but the Caesars brand for using my brain and beating them. But they're 35-1. But I seen DraftKings and Fanatics at 45-1. That's just, it's just a peanut bet, for someone to throw a little peanut on, just a little bonus bet for the guys that are watching. Listen, I'm not going to say it's a great, oh my God, this guy 45-1. No, but he should be like 20-1, 25-1 the most. I mean, I just think it's good value. I know a lot of the caddies out there, and I actually have actually stayed in Hilton Head with his caddy. So I like him. I like the guy. He's a nice guy, and being nice is one thing, but I think he could play. He can hit the ball.
Both games have gone to overtime. I find it really, really hard to pick a side. I casually said Panthers last time, and they happen to hit at plus money. But I think the props are where it's at. We talked about Brad Marchand over 1.5 shots on goal last time. He had 6. It's the finals. The veterans are going to shine, and Marchand is just one of those guys that comes to play. Take him over 1.5 shots on goal. If he goes over tonight, that number is probably going to disappear. He's had 3 games in a row over 5 and 9 shot attempts the first 2 games. I like Sam Bennett to have a point. He's just always in front of the net. The Oilers probably hate him at this point because he's always just bothering Skinner, and he's always around the puck. He has a point in 6 out of 7 games. He has 3 points in this series, and I think we have to go back to Skinner and Bobrovsky over 26.5 saves. Both have gone over the series. I know it went to overtime, but they've gone over in regulation, I believe. Just a lot of shots on net, and if we go to overtime again, these guys are going to cash easily. And then the Oilers will have a point in the first period. They have a point in the first period in 7 straight games. A lot of these games, multiple goals. So I'm going to take a look at the Oilers. It's minus 155. May seem a little bit juicy, but man, the Oilers seem to get off to a really, really good start. So Marchand over 1.5 shots on goal. Bennett will have a point. Both goalies to go over, and Edmonton Oilers will have a point in the first period. That's your marquee matchup for the NHL game.
It looks to be a highly competitive series. So far this year, both teams have really done well in their division. The Dodgers are 7-3, while the Padres are 9-3. Los Angeles is only 16-16 on the road, though, while the Padres are an excellent 20-10 in Petco Park. Dustin May had a rough go of it the past few seasons, managing just 78 total innings pitched since 2022, entering this year, and that includes missing the entire 2024 season. He surprisingly got off to a great start this year, which the reason why I say it's surprising, when guys come back from injuries, it takes a while. We've seen that out of Strider. We saw it from the Seattle pitcher last night. It takes a while to get it all going, and the last thing you see is control, and that's usually what the problem is. But May got off to a great start, but lately he has not been so strong. His season has regressed as of late. Comes in with a 4.09 ERA, 4.46 expected ERA, and a 1.25 whip on the season. Nick Pivetta is a guy I love. He had a great signing for the Padres coming into the season, a late signing. There was so many teams out there right now just killing themselves because they didn't pick up Pivetta. But this is a great spot for him. He's a fly ball pitcher, and this stadium fits him perfectly. He enters with a 3.16 ERA, 3.49 expected ERA, 1.02 whip, which is great. His strikeout to walk ratio is an outstanding 21.0. The best pitchers in baseball are 16 and higher. He's at 21.0. In fact, today, the Phillies throwing their starter going today, and he's at like 26. Just tremendous pitching out of some of these guys, strikeouts to walks. And that's really, if you want to see how good a pitcher is, don't pay attention to win-loss record. Pay attention to the strikeout minus walk ratio. Anything better than 16 is what you're going for. And once again, Pavetta's at 21. The problem for the Padres tonight is their overworked bullpen. Suarez, Adams, Estrada, and Morgan have all pitched 2 of the last 3 days. They've been involved in a lot of close games, a lot of games in which they were winning. So your best relievers will pitch in those games. That is our concern here today. So I'm going to take a look at this for the first 5. I'm going to eliminate the bullpens. I'm going to play the Padres in the first 5 at minus 105. That's San Diego in the first half of this game, minus 105. Once again, 20-10, straight up at home. The Dodgers only 16-16 on the road.